profile segment of Southeastern Championship Wrestling. My guests today, Robert Gibson and Roy Welch. And our topic of discussion is women's liberations matches in pro wrestling, Roy. It's something that has taken place here in the Southeastern area. I've only known it to take place one time previous to these matches being booked, and that was in Atlanta, Georgia. Backtracking the situation, Joyce Grable and Judy Martin called Don Curtis, the president of Southeastern Championship Wrestling, requesting a match against men.
Well, you know, Charlie, it had to come. They've come into every sport so far, so it had to come to professional wrestling.
They specifically indicated that they would like junior heavyweights in the ring as their opponents. Now, you and Robert, I know you commented to me by telephone during the week when all of this took place that you thought Curtis was really joking with you to start with about actually competing against a woman in the ring.
Well, my first impression sure was, Charlie, because it's different in professional wrestling unlike other sports. You talk about tennis or you talk about golf. It's not a contact type of sport. We're talking about lady wrestlers. But after talking to them a while, I realized that it's not so far-fetched because these are professionally trained athletes. They've gone through the same rigorous training that we had to go through when we first started. They go through very heavy endurance training as well as wrestling training. So we're not talking about just any two women off the street. We're talking about two top professional wrestlers, and they are the tops in their line, by the way, being a former world's tag team champions. To them, that's probably as far as they can go. So what's left for them, I guess, would be to challenge a man and try to defeat them.
Robert, what was your first impression when you were notified that you had been booked against Joyce Grable and Judy Martin and Roy Welch was your partner?
I'm like Roy Lee. I thought it was a joke at first. I kind of had a little grin on my face, but like Roy said, these ladies used to be the world tag team champions, and I've never wrestled a girl or ever had anything to do with a girl with physical like that, but I'm like Roy, you have to see what happens.
And I must say, Don Curtis has been fair in booking this match, you two junior heavyweights. Joyce Grable and Judy Martin will not have one chance in the ring against men in competition, but this is an event that Don has booked in towns like Mobile, Pensacola, Montgomery, and Birmingham. They'll have more than one chance.
Well, they're probably going to need more than one chance because to get in with us for the first time is going to be quite different from anything they've done. So I think that it'll take a couple of times for them to really be able to get the feel of being in there against a professional male wrestler.
Well, the news of this women's lib matches has certainly got the world of professional wrestling buzzing, especially two wrestlers not only in this area but all across the country. Let's hear now some comments about this particular match from Bob and Brad Armstrong. Joining them is Les Thatcher.
Well, of course, a lot of new things have happened in professional wrestling over our careers, Bob, but this is probably one of the most unique. And I know Charlie was mentioning that a match like this had taken place in Atlanta, Georgia. You did see that match.
I did see that match, and it was a very competitive match. The lady wrestlers surprised me terrifically, pardon me, but it was the same two lady wrestlers that have called Don Curtis and challenged Roy Welch and the Gibson man. So, you know, it's women against men, but like everybody said, they've done it in all other sports. Don Curtis likes to bring new type of matches. He gives away a lot of money. He does a lot of innovative things in the Southeastern area. So I'm very proud and happy that it's here because I wouldn't miss it for the world. I don't envy their positions. I wouldn't be in that position for anything in the world. But these men didn't ask for this match. They were challenged, and they accepted the challenge. Now, Don Curtis is not just going to have this in one town. He's going to have it in Pensacola, Mobile, Montgomery, Birmingham, and all the major cities in the Southeastern area. They'll get to see two men wrestle two women. And these two women, like we've heard, are not just two women. They're former world tag team champions. They've been in Korea, they've been in New Zealand, Australia, Japan, and they're undefeated overseas. So, you know, you're talking about a tag team match. Now, when one man happens to stray in the corner of two ladies, that's two wildcats on you, brother. Anything can happen then, so I can't wait to see it myself.
Well, of course, stamina and strength have something to do with it. The men have a little advantage there. But in a tag team match, the women will get a little rest as they tag out. Brad, you're relatively new to the sport of professional wrestling. You've held the tag team belts with your father, currently holding the U.S. junior title. How would you go about wrestling a lady if you had to defend your title against her?
Oh, well, let's tell you the truth. I love to wrestle ladies, but I've never wrestled one that's actually tried to beat me. So it's definitely going to be different.
it's a mental handicap, Bob, if it's nothing else.
Exactly right, but you got to remember, they're professionals. They've been slammed, they've been bumped, they've been bruised, they've been thrown over the top rope, dropped on their head. They've had it all done to them, just like the men, so it'll be very interesting.
The comments and opinions of Bob and Brad Armstrong. Back to you, Charlie.
Certainly, I have to agree with Bob Armstrong. I do not envy you two gentlemen at all, because strategy planning in this situation would be tough.
Well, we just got to see what comes out the first time we go against the ladies. But one thing for sure, if these two lady wrestlers have the guts to come out and challenge male professional wrestlers, then I say let's give them the chance. I'm anxious for the match, really.
I'm looking forward to seeing the match myself. Best of luck to you two gentlemen, Robert Gibson and Roy Welch, in a women's lib match against former ladies tag team champions Joyce Grable and Judy Martin. It's something new, and it's taking place right here in the Southeastern Wrestling area.